Hey, what is going on? This is your daily stimulus check updated information. So every month there is new checks going out. In fact, September is going to be a big month for a lot of stimulus that's going out. I'm going to cover a lot of those details in this video for you because there's new states that are sending out stimulus checks to people. It looks like Nancy Pelosi and her giant budget plan could possibly extend out a lot of the programs that are going to be expiring. That's good news. Plus, we're going to have new data coming out about the infrastructure bill, who's getting what as far as that stimulus. Also, with seniors right now, it looks like they might be getting a stimulus check if this big petition can get through to Congress. So I'm going to cover that. If you are SSI, SSDI, you have the ability to maybe possibly getting another stimulus check. But there's going to be about 40 million families right now that are going to be stepping up and getting a check here pretty soon. So these checks are going to be going out to around 61 million children. This is part of the American Rescue Plan that President Biden had signed back into law back in March. This is the payments on a monthly basis going out. Every child under the age of 6 gets a $300 payment up until December. And then in the month of March of next year, the rest of the money will be sent out as a lump sum. And then $250 per child between the age of 6 and 17 is going out every month on the 15th. So we have coming up next week the payment of the 15th. Now the Treasury said they made a glitch. Some of the people that got a bank deposit on July 15th, they might have received a paper check on August 15th. It seems like they've rectified that. Now that they're going to go back to sending direct payments to your bank account. If you haven't done so already, you can use the free filing tool on the Treasury website. You can go on there and you can file your returns. If you do that, then you basically are set up. You can get your $1,400 payment. You can also pick up the first 2 checks if you didn't get those, because there is a recovery rebate section in there that you can fill out the information and get that signed up. So that's good news for a lot of people that are going to be having a lot of children. If you did have a new child this year, you actually can file next year, 2021, that you had a child in 2021. You would be picking up the $1,400 check as a dependent, and then you'd add that child to the child tax credit. I think the American Families Plan, President Biden's going to try to add that to the big giant budget bill. If he does that, then they'll extend out the child tax credit out through the year 2025, and then possibly get a 4th stimulus check in there in that new budget plan. But we have to wait. Sometimes Nancy Pelosi says you got to pass the bill to see what's in it. To me, that seems crazy, but that's ultimately what I think is going to happen with this bill, this giant budget bill. They're going to have to pass it to see what's in it, and then if they can sneak in a lot of the stimulus payments, I think they'll be able to do that. Good news for a lot of states. There's about $350 billion that needs to be sent out to a lot of these states, and so there are some new states that are coming added to the list. Vermont right now is going to be sending out $2,000 for nurses, janitors, and retail workers. You know, every state has billions and billions of dollars they have to send out. They have to actually send that out before the 31st. So what they're doing is they're kind of picking together some of the stimulus payments that are going to be going out. Now, New York City has a new program. I'm going to show you that in just a second. But Tennessee is sending out $1,000 checks to educators. If you're an educator in these states, it looks like you'll probably be receiving a bonus stimulus payment. Now, New Mexico, a lot of low-income households are going to be receiving $750 as emergency financial assistance. Missouri is going to be getting $250 per paycheck for people in Missouri. This correctional officers are going to be getting that. Michigan, they're going to be sending out some of the school teachers received up to $3,000 in hazard pay, and then there's additional support staff across the state received $500. Maryland also is $500 stimulus check for families, $300 for individuals who filed their earned income tax credit. Georgia, $1,000 payments to teachers in that state. Florida is sending out $1,000 payments to firefighters, EMT, paramedics, police officers, and educators. Colorado, $375 from the Centennial States General Fund. And then California is going to be including, says the bill is $1.8 billion in direct stimulus payments. California is the only state right now that's actually sending out individual stimulus payments like they did with the federal stimulus payments of the $1,400. Now you have to make less than $75,000 annually. And also, if you don't have a Social Security number, you can use the ITIN number when you file your returns with the state of California. You have to live in California, obviously. I think you have to live there before, or you have to live there at least 6 months in order to get that. Now, there is this new recall vote that's coming up here pretty soon for Gavin Newsom. We'll see if he can get, if he's booted out, if he stayed in. I don't think it really matters. This bill is going to go out. The payments are going to be going out. The timing of it's pretty good, though. He did send out these payments right before the recall vote, so I think it makes him look good a little bit. I'll have to see people in California what they do with that. New York City looks like they're going to be sending out $5,000 payments to certain groups in that area. So it looks like New York City is set to send out $5,000 in financial assistance to artists, taxi drivers, and the homeless. $6 billion in stimulus funds are going to be going out. So they have 65. So it looks like the artists are going to be getting close to $5,000. I'm not real sure who qualifies for that, but if you are an artist in that city, it looks like you might be picking up a pretty good payment. New York City cab drivers, $65 million in relief funds for the cab industry. Said relief payments are intended to help individual medallion owners achieve a more sustainable level of medallion debt, stabilize their financial situation, and get vehicles back in service so more taxis are available to the riding public. Also, the city $125 million to help the homeless population. I'm not sure how they're going to do that, but looks like if they're going to hand out checks to homeless, I guess that would be good. The $5,000 checks come after legislators in the state of New York approved one-time $15,600 stimulus payments for excluded workers who lost their job during it happened over the past year. So that's good news for California right now. I mean, that's good news for New York City. California is also good news for them because they're picking up another check. But this is the first time I've heard of New York City actually sending out payments, and it looks like a big one, $5,000 for payments for individuals. So there is this big group of the Senior Citizens League is calling for $1,400 checks to Social Security recipients. In 2021, Social Security benefits increased by just 1.3%, rising. The inflation rate is increasing by 6.2%. So this is definitely something that is good, because if they can get some type of stimulus, it'll kind of help with the inflation right now. If the benefits are only increasing by 1.3% and inflation is increasing by 6 or 7%, then you can't really, you start to get to the point where you're spending a lot more in other stuff and you're not really getting your income coming in. So that's why this could help. If you are SSI, SSDI, the Treasury did ask you to just file your returns. I know a lot of people don't file the returns just because of the fact that they're, SSI. But the Treasury said file your returns, because if you do that, you probably will be able to pick up the other payments. Because if you didn't pick up the first two checks, you have to file your return so the Treasury got your information. Now, you can use the non-filers tool. It's a free tool on the Treasury website. You go there, you sign up. When you do that, you can add your bank account. You can add your address so they can send you a check. So all of that is available to you at the Treasury website. There is a portal too. You can see when your check was sent out to you. It's a free portal, and it'll actually let you log in, see when the check was sent. So if you haven't got your check, you can go in there and see when it was sent out, or you can get a hold of the Treasury. Now, the only way you can really get a hold of the Treasury is just by filing your returns. Get it into the computer and let them process it through the computer. That's the only way you can do that. There's really no phone number or address to show up to. It's just basically filling out your returns and sending those in. Now, this giant $3.5 trillion budget plan that Nancy Pelosi has set up to try to pass, this is probably going to have a fourth stimulus check and maybe possibly have a reoccurring payment in there. They're trying to get this reoccurring payment of like $2,000 for everybody, and then $1,000 for children, for those that do qualify for that. But that would be definitely good news for those that are looking to get some type of a reoccurring payment set up and moving forward. Hey, so if you have any questions, you can drop those questions in the comments below. This is your daily stimulus check updated information for today.
I would ask my colleagues and all of the Senate to hit the pause button on the 3.5. Hit the pause button. Let's sit back. Let's see what happens. We've got so much on our plate. We really have an awful lot. I think that would be the prudent, wise thing to do. I know they're going to go nuts right now because it's probably being, what I just said is going to all my caucus in Washington.
Here they come.
But I'm thinking of it from the standpoint of where we are as a nation today, that we weren't here a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Everything has changed. And I don't know what the unknown is. I don't know what the future on this is. I know one thing, I want to be prepared for it. I want to be able to take care of our military that can defend us anywhere in the world if it's called upon. I want to make sure our economy is still robust. I want to make sure we're bringing manufacturing back and opportunities. I don't want to have debt over our head to where we basically can't service the debt that we have. All those things are very much concerning to me. And with all that hanging in limbo right now, Shelley will tell you, the 3.5 trillion, there's a lot of good stuff in there. There's things in there that she, at a certain, would like, that Democrats and Republicans can agree on. But it's not anything that we need immediately.
People should see what the climate change is doing, and we're going to address that in our legislation. And the president created this legislation over a year ago. So he was ahead of this, and now we just need Congress to come along with this so that we can protect the American people and then invest in them.
But you read Senator Manchin's op-ed. He said he's not for it. He says $3.5 trillion is too much. He's not going to vote for it. It can't pass without him.
Look, Senator Manchin is a valued partner. We're going to continue to work with him, but we're also going to continue to push our agenda. And part of this, George, is just the sausage-making process, and it just happens. And this is happening in public view, but it's not abnormal for this to happen in the legislative process, and we're still full steam ahead.
So why did the president make a decision to just let these benefits expire and not push to extend them again?
Well, Dana, the Congress, when they passed these benefits, set this as the expiration date.
Right.
And I would say the Delta variant is having an impact on the economy, but not so much on employment. We're at the lowest unemployment rate we have seen in this country in a year and a half, 5.2%. We've added jobs every single month we've been here. And so the states were given money as part of the rescue plan back in March to deal with the consequences of any economic dislocation due to COVID. States are using that money in different ways. One of those ways is employment bonuses, paying people to take jobs. Other states are providing employment training, employment counseling. So these benefits expire under law this coming week. And we think that the states have the tools they need to help people move from unemployment to employment. Particularly, by the way, we have more unfilled jobs in this country than at any time on the record of measuring unfilled jobs. So we think the jobs are there, and we think the states have the resources they need to move people from unemployment to. This package adds nothing to the debt, nothing to the debt. It is fully paid for by raising taxes on wealthy people. We've had people become billionaires during the pandemic. They should pay their fair share of taxes. We've had 55 big corporations pay nothing in taxes, though they have record profits. If we raise taxes on the big corporations who aren't paying, raise taxes on people using international loopholes, raise taxes on the wealthy who are not paying their fair share, we can pay for every one of those investments in the package without a penny of taxes on people making under $400,000 a year, and without a penny being added to the long-term federal debt. In fact, passing these tax changes, making the people who aren't paying pay their fair share, collecting taxes from people who owe them and are dodging taxes by using loopholes, using lawyers and accountants, collecting those taxes will make our tax system fairer, make middle-class people share less of the burden, and can help bring down our debt in the long run. So I think Senator Manchin's concerns about inflation, about debts, those are concerns we can address with the provisions of this package itself.
I think there is also some consideration going on here by people. Are they going to go back to the same job that they had pre-pandemic? And you know, at the Department of Labor, we've gotten out hundreds of millions of dollars out into communities all across America for job training and workforce development. We also using the American Job Centers to connect people to jobs. So I think that and we're living in a pandemic. I think there's a lot of factors here. I think that $300 didn't have as much of an impact as everyone said it did and keep people out of work. We'll see now as we move forward. But those states that ended enhanced benefits did not see any gains at all of people going back to work. The one thing that we were able to do, myself and Secretary Yellen, was we sent letters to the states, all states, to let them know if they want to extend the benefit themselves, they can do that by using the American Rescue Plan money. Not all states, the unemployment numbers are high. Some states, the unemployment numbers are very low.